All right, what is good, y'all? This is your boy Javi coming back to y'all with another video. Um, Once again, if y'all have not checked out my channel before, if this is your first video that you've seen of me, I am a Commanders slash Redskins fan that lives in Texas, specifically South Texas. So it is not easy to be a Commanders fan here where I live, but damn it, am I enjoying it? Damn it, am I happy? And I can finally say, that it is a good time right now. I am having a great time, especially with the Cowboys losing. Um, it's been a fun weekend, definitely. But yeah, just wanted to make a state of the union, state of the franchise address. Since we've hit the midpoint of the season, excuse me, we just I have the Chiefs game on right now, and after this game, obviously that would be the end of Week 9. So just kind of wanted to, you know, give my overall analysis up to this point of the franchise. What I see, I'll touch some positives. I'll maybe mention some negatives. It's really hard to say, negatives right now, given how smoothly the new regime has been doing and how smoothly the team has been doing. Um, yeah, just watching the game right now. The Buccaneers are at the goal line, but anyways, um, I since the Washington Commanders are based off of DC, I think it was fitting that the title of this video be the Commanders fan State of the Union. So I just want to start off. The way I'm going to structure the video is from a top to bottom perspective. I am going to give my perspective, and from the front office to the coaching to the players, and kind of give you all my analysis, my opinion as to the good, the bad, and maybe some where we can make some improvements. So definitely want to start off with the owner. That's the person who's at the very top, Josh Harris. He is the majority owner or the managing partner of the stakeholders. So he calls the shots mainly, along with the GM that he hired, Adam Peters. So I just want to give a big shout out to Mr. Harris and congratulate him on the job that he has been doing with this team, because damn it, it has been a while since we've had this amount of success, this vibe, this energy in the franchise, and I'm sure in DC, in the DMV area. Just a quick note: I have been to DC as part of my job before, so I am familiar with how big the Commanders are in Maryland, in Virginia, and in DC. So just want to make that quick note. But yeah, Mr. Harris, has been doing a good job. I do want to, give him his props where props are due, because we are coming off a tenure of an owner by the name of Dan Snyder, who is probably the worst owner ever in the NFL. This man destroyed the Washington Redskins. This man destroyed the fan base, destroyed the community, tarnished the legacy of the Redskins. Really sucked ass at bringing the old school players into the building, embracing them, making them feel welcome, and finding a way to having them mingle with the new players that are in, and trying to pass on that legacy, and making creating an environment where old players who contributed to the franchise are welcomed and are able to uh, enjoy or reap the benefits of the time that they put in by being around the team now. Um, and so, just want to give a big props to the way Mr. Harris runs his business, the way he conducts himself. Just based off of the hires that he's made, you can tell that he is a good decision maker. He is not perfect by all means, but nobody is, as far as and I'm just speaking off of his owner from an ownership, from a fan criticizing an owner perspective, not from a personal perspective, because I don't know, I don't know him personally, so I cannot say he's a good or bad person. You do never know, in my opinion, who is good, who is bad until you know them personally and actually live with them. Um, so, yeah, he's made some great decisions. I want to start off by one of the decisions that he made that was key, probably franchise altering, franchise changing. Probably one of the best moves that will go down in the history of the franchise is him hiring Adam Peters as the general manager. You've seen the effect that Adam Peters has had on the franchise by the decisions that Adam Peters has made, and some of the executions and moves or some of the moves that Adam Peters has executed. Excuse me, I should say some of the moves that Adam Peters has executed. The effect that has had. So, I do know that there was quite a bit of candidates that were up for the GM job that were in the running. But, you have to give props to Mr. Harris for taking the time and choosing the right person in Adam Peters. Seeing Adam Peters' record as a scout to an assistant GM, and doing his due diligence and making sure he dotted his I's and crossed his T's when it came to choosing who would head the Washington Commanders, football operations of the franchise. So big props to him for making that hire. I do also want to commend him for just being supportive of the old guard coming back around to the building, and making the old team, the old football players welcome, fixing the shitty statue that Mr. Snyder and the old regime did for Sean Taylor, which was embarrassing and humiliating to the family, but also just seeing that as a fan was kind of a slap in the face, because we all know how much Sean Taylor meant to the franchise. So it was good to see that they are in the works of fixing that a new statue will be revealed, a better one, and that old shitty one that they made that looked like a bunch of copper wires put together will be taken down, and that would be addressed correctly how it was meant to be addressed. That's what a first-class organization does. That's what a businessman who wants to correct the pathway of his franchise does. That's the way he should take care of his business. So big props to him for doing that. Also want to talk about his investments in fixing up the stadium, because the stadium was deteriorating, and I know that he's working on getting a stadium back in DC. There's a lot that has to do with that. A lot of politics, has to go through Congress, has to go through the House of Representatives, the Senate, and all that bullshit. I mean, these people, for anybody to expect Congress to solve this quickly, get this, they can't even agree on, safe crossways for kids at their school. So I mean, I don't expect this to get anything. I mean, it's a slow process, is what I'm trying to say, when it is up to the hands of Congress. So, but at least he's he has that rolling. He's gotten that ball rolling. So we got to give him props for that. In the meantime, he's made the correct investments in the stadium. He's improved it. He's improved the fan base aspect of it. He's improved the seating. He's added some stuff. I know he spent millions of dollars. Him and the stakeholders have spent millions of dollars in investments to the stadium. The food, all that stuff. It's really made the fan experience a whole lot better than it was before. So I want to give him major props for that. I do, maybe perhaps the only criticism that I do have of Josh Harris in this regard, and as far as his performance so far, and perhaps you can't blame him for that, but it is the name of the franchise. Obviously we're the Washington Commanders. Mr. Harris has been clear that he is not going to change the name. That the name Redskins is not coming back anytime soon. I believe his last press conference he had before the season started, he made it very clear that the name Redskins is not coming back anytime soon. And so, I think as fans we should kind of, perhaps not bring it up, but we should start accepting that we probably will not see the Redskins name back for a while. Perhaps there's a culture change again that in society that allows us to bring the name back at a much smoother rhythm, make that transition easier. But as of right now, I don't see it. And just based off the indications of the owner, I don't think anybody in the front office sees the name coming back anytime soon. So I just did want to kind of read off the quote that Mr. Harris gave during that press conference where he indicated that the name Redskins is not coming back. So Mr. Harris said, "We've been very clear. We can't, for obvious reasons. The old name can't come back. But right now we're focused on things that unify the team around our football team, and unify the city around our football team. And the first objective is we got to start winning football games," which I completely agree. Winning makes everything a lot easier. Winning makes dealing with the name a lot easier, makes dealing with the uniforms a lot easier, makes dealing with not having a stadium in DC, a lot easier. Winning just smooths out a lot of things. And so Mr. Harris continues to say, and we need everyone's support in the team and not things that might drive people apart. Secondly, obviously, we're trying to find a new home. And again, unifying the city around that is important. Like I mentioned about the city, when you win, you can deal with a lot of things a lot easier. And then Mr. Harris continues to say, and the name is one of those things that inspires a lot of opinions. But I can't say I'm certainly not forgotten about it. Like I said, I grew up here, and so I understand it. We're going to start to do things that bring us back to our heritage, honoring our past. You saw the gold pants. Those are easy things to do. And then, so that's pretty much what he had to say. And so I did want to speak a little bit, and I think it's important to speak about. In that quote, Mr. Harris says that for obvious reasons, the name's not coming back. I do want to speak about what those obvious reasons are. And I don't want to get too much into the politics of it, but it's hard to not speak about the name change and not bring up the politics, if that makes sense. Because it was definitely for political reasons and ideological reasons that the Commanders, that the Redskins had to change the name to the Washington Football Team and now the Commanders. And one of those reasons was, the sponsors. One of the first dominoes to fall was FedEx Field having to change its name because FedEx said that they would no longer sponsor the stadium and would no longer give those licensing rights or naming rights to the stadium. Because of the name of the Redskins. They would not support it. The owner and the stakeholders came out very strongly and released statements and voiced their opinions, their displeasure with the name the Redskins. Also, Nike came out around the same time. That was after the FedEx, it was Nike that came out and said that if the Redskins continued with the same name, none of their merchandise would be sold on their websites or on the NFL websites. No merchandise or marketing would be done on behalf of the Redskins through Nike. And Nike holds the licensing rights to the merchandise as of right now. Before it was Reebok. Now it is Nike. And so they have every right legally to, make those type of decisions and kind of squeeze the neck of the franchise, basically forcing them to change the name, or they would be in danger of losing all of their revenue, really from sales of merchandise and marketing and all that stuff. So it was all of these forces driven by ideology, like Nike. I mean, we all know Nike is based off of the West Coast in Oregon. You know, their owners are super woke, super duper liberal. You know, they push their own ideologies. You know, they donate to certain campaigns, certain politicians, and so, you know, support certain legislation that kind of line up with their ideology. So to me, it was no surprise. It is definitely a push for Nike and, you know, the other sponsors to control the narrative and push their own ideologies on people via the football team, and in this case, it was the Washington Redskins. But you know, Dan Snyder was really the only, what would you say, the only obstacle in the way for the name change, for the name to be changed, because as we know, Dan Snyder was very adamant in not changing the name until he was forced to do so by all of these sponsors refusing to sell the Redskins merchandise and whatnot. And obviously Roger Goodell, given everything that happened with, you know, the whole kneeling and stuff like that, all the social change that was going around in the league, driven by some of the players and their sponsors as well. You know, Roger Goodell could really not prevent it from happening, even if deep down he likes the name. Because we all know that a lot of people who say things about the Redskins name, deep down they actually like the name, but they have to have a public stance and a private stance. That's just my opinion. Let me know what y'all think. But I do want to close my discussion about the owner, Josh Harris, on a positive note. Just kind of reiterate, I think he's doing a good job. I think not a good job, a great job. You know, the decisions that he has had to make to get this franchise back on track from one of the most horrible ownership regimes that we've ever seen in the NFL. You know, it was not easy, but he's made the right decisions and has taken the right steps to bring this franchise back. This franchise was depleted. The fan base was, you know, non-existent as far as attendance in the field, in the games, and you can't really blame the fans because you are not putting on a product that makes people want to get out, buy tickets, and, you know, spend their valuable time at the game. So, you know, we can't really blame the fans, but it's good to see that now, you know, the fans are really coming out. So, you know, got to give a big shout out to Mr. Harris on that.